Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about the ruler of the 8th house posited in the 12th house in a natal horoscope. As most of you know, the 8th house is connected with astrology, sex, death, the occult, metaphysical, inheritances, others, resources, transformation, regeneration, while the 12th house is connected with the house of secrets, limitations, restrictions, hidden enemies, things that we do in solitude and seclusion, and limitations. Anyway, let me get started. The first thing is, the 8th house is connected with a sexual partner, so this placement might reflect the kind of sexual partner this person may be somewhat, at least attracted to, or is inclined to, bring to him or gravitate to him or her. The 12th house corresponds with Pisces, so, this could indicate, a sexual partner or, one or more, maybe somewhat nebulous, might be some kind of confusing quality to this person, someone that is compassionate, philanthropic, charitable, a partner that sees the best in situations, somebody that might have a little, I guess you could say, might be some kind of mysterious quality to the person, some ambivalence. This could be a person that has the part of their life that is connected with transformation, regeneration, might be kept, they might be very private about it. 8th house matters in general can be private. Matters concerning sex, death, astrology, the occult may be, talked about with maybe their, close friends and associates. The 8th house is connected with the sexual partner, and this person may impact their outlook on things that are spiritual, to some degree might impact their spirituality, or their strengths. I guess not with strengths, their weaknesses or deficiencies, and might actually bring bring it out to that person in a productive manner, and just to help the person work on their weaknesses, and make them convert them to strengths, or if the ruler has predominantly negative aspects, maybe the opposite may occur, and this person's sexual partner may be to their own, undoing, or to their detriment, maybe to some degree, and maybe, might, the partner might bring up their weaknesses, on a regular basis, for example, and thus be, have a negative impact on the person, or this partner might bring out the negative side of this person. This could be somebody that I guess we could say the 8th house is connected with others' resources, and this could be another matter that is considered private to this person. They might have changes and upheavals on their outlook on things connected with prisons, things associated with hospitals. A sexual partner might be somebody that that might have been met in a hospital, such as maybe the sexual partner was a nurse or some other kind of worker at a hospital, or physician of some kind that this person met. A way of looking at this too is that we know that the 12th house is the house of undoing, and taxes and liabilities might really could be one thing that's kind of like self-inflicted on this person. This person, not to look at it too fatalistic manner, but the 8th house being associated with death, the 12th house is connected with, seclusion, confinement, and solitude. Perhaps this person might die, by them, in their own, place in their, in manner where there's nobody else around by themselves. It could be one of those things where, the person dies and, maybe there'll be more, in some isolated cases, a little more, a little mystery connected with it, perhaps, and there might be some confusion surrounding this matter. A sexual partner might, bring some kind of chaos or confusion into this person's life. You look at the 8th house as a sexual partner, is connected with that. The 12th house is connected with incarceration and imprisonment. And in some isolated cases, maybe, this partner might be to this person's detriment and somehow lands this person in jail. Or it could, conversely, the sexual partner might be somebody that is connected, somehow, on some level with alcohol, recreational drug use, might land his or herself, in jail, at least, perhaps, even one time or even occasionally or what have you. So that's another thing. Look at, the transforming urge, like I've stated, could be, this person might, be willing to, really try strongly and face their weaknesses and deficiencies with a lot of intensity and passion, and may be willing to regenerate, this way by changing their weaknesses and, focusing on some of their defaults or their negative qualities, and being able to transform them in turn, and eliminate them, or work strongly to eliminate them, and thus get more positive qualities as opposed to their, by eradicating or, their, I guess you could say, any negative characteristics they may have. I mean, at least a strong attempt might be made to do this, as the 8th house is connected with transformation, regeneration, and the 12th house has to do with weaknesses. And transformation, regeneration is something that they probably would, a lot of these people would do very privately, and focus, on, themselves, rather than maybe talk to a lot of people about this. But anyway, people, the one last thing I wanted to get into is that the 8th house is connected with the astrology and the occult, and this could, also be something that might, might impact, spirituality, perhaps, maybe might impact it one way or another, might enhance spirituality, or perhaps it, it detracts maybe from it to some degree, and that's another thing I wanted to bring into this. And anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the ruler of the 8th house posited in the 12th house in the natal horoscope. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about the ruler of the 9th house in the 1st house in the natal chart. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis on a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.